Welcome back to the channel USA Coins History. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic and fascinating coins ever produced by the United States, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny. This small copper cent has been a staple in American coinage for decades, but the 1945 edition, especially with its mint mark, carries a special allure that captivates collectors around the world. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just curious about the hidden stories behind your loose change, this video is for you. So, get comfortable, because we're about to explore everything that makes the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny not just a coin, but a piece of history, and possibly a ticket to a small fortune. Let's rewind back to 1945. The world was emerging from the shadows of World War II. Victory was declared, soldiers were coming home, and America was preparing for a new era of peace and prosperity. It was a time of rebuilding, hope, and transformation. Amid all of this, the U.S. Mint continued its essential work of producing coins to fuel the economy. Among those coins was the humble Lincoln Wheat Penny, a design that had been in circulation since 1909. The Lincoln Wheat Penny is notable for its reverse side design, the iconic wheat ears flanking the words, 1 cent, and United States of America. This reverse design, used until 1958, gives the coin its affectionate nickname among collectors. On the front, you have the enduring image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, whose leadership during one of America's darkest times continues to inspire. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck during a crucial moment. The war was just ending, and copper was a precious resource. Because of wartime material shortages, the composition of pennies varied in those years, but by 1945, the mint had returned to using a standard bronze alloy. This makes the 1945 pennies especially attractive for collectors who prize traditional materials and classic designs. Now, let's talk about the mint marks, those tiny letters on the obverse side, just beneath the date. In 1945, pennies were produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, which often had no mint mark, Denver, and San Francisco. The mint mark tells us where the coin was struck, and this detail can make a big difference in a coin's rarity and value. The 1945 penny with the D mint mark from Denver and the S mint mark from San Francisco are both sought after by collectors. The San Francisco Mint, in particular, produced lower numbers of pennies that year compared to Philadelphia and Denver, which makes its coins more scarce. Philadelphia pennies from 1945, despite lacking a mint mark, can also be valuable, especially in pristine condition or with unique minting characteristics. Speaking of rarity, one of the most exciting aspects for collectors is finding a 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny in exceptional condition. Most pennies from that era have been well circulated, showing signs of wear and tear. But every once in a while, a beautifully preserved specimen surfaces, one with crisp details, sharp wheat ears, and a lustrous finish. These coins stand out because they look almost as fresh as the day they left the mint, and that condition drives up their value significantly. Beyond condition, there are some intriguing variations and errors in the 1945 series that add layers of excitement for collectors. For instance, some pennies were minted with slight die cracks, double dies, or subtle variations in the design that are highly prized. These errors occur when the dies used to strike the coins develop imperfections or when the striking process accidentally doubles part of the design, creating a shadow or echo effect on the coin's surface. Collectors also look for coins with unique toning or coloration, which can add aesthetic beauty and rarity to a coin. Sometimes, pennies develop an attractive patina over time that collectors find highly desirable, making each coin truly one of a kind. If you think about it, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny isn't just about its metal or mint mark, it's a tangible connection to a pivotal year in American history. Holding one of these coins is like holding a piece of the past, a reminder of the courage and resilience of a generation that faced immense challenges. Now, for the million-dollar question, or rather, the tens of thousands of dollars question: how much can a 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny actually be worth? While many of these pennies in average circulated condition are still worth just a few cents or a couple of dollars, those rare, uncirculated, or error-filled examples can fetch astonishing prices at auctions and from dedicated collectors. The absolute cream of the crop, especially those coins exhibiting remarkable condition, rare mint marks, or unique mint errors, have been known to command prices that will make any collector's jaw drop. The highest recorded value for one of these extraordinary 1945 Lincoln wheat pennies is an incredible $92,700. That's right, $92,700 for a single penny. A penny that once bought a loaf of bread or a newspaper now holds a treasure trove of value and history. Today, we're embarking on an exciting journey into the world of classic American coinage. Our spotlight shines brightly on a true piece of history, the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny. Though it may seem like just another cent to the casual observer, this coin carries a legacy and potential value that can astonish even the most seasoned collectors. Whether you're new to numismatics or a veteran with a deep appreciation for rare coins, stick around because this story is packed with history, design beauty, and the thrilling possibility that you might just hold a small fortune in your hands. Let's travel back in time for a moment. It's 1946. World War II has just ended the previous year, and the United States is entering a new era of hope, reconstruction, and growth. The country is buzzing with optimism as veterans return home, families rebuild, and the economy transitions from wartime production to peacetime prosperity. It was a period of profound change, and the coins minted during this era reflect that pivotal moment in American history. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny was minted during this crucial time. The coin's design is familiar and beloved. On the obverse, you see the dignified profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, who symbolizes unity and perseverance. This design has been a mainstay since 1909 and is one of the most recognized coin designs worldwide. Flip the coin over, and you're greeted with the classic wheat ears on the reverse, a design used until 1958, that symbolizes growth and prosperity, perfectly capturing the spirit of the post-war era. What makes the 1946 penny truly intriguing for collectors is the mint mark, a tiny letter etched just below the date on the front of the coin. This mint mark reveals where the coin was struck. In 1946, pennies were produced at 3 U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. While millions of these pennies were circulated, the differences in mint location and the numbers produced at each mint affect how rare and valuable these coins are today. Philadelphia, being the largest mint, produced the bulk of the 1946 pennies, so coins from this mint are generally the most common. On the other hand, the Denver and San Francisco mints produced fewer coins, making pennies bearing these mint marks a little harder to come by, especially in high-quality condition. The San Francisco mint, in particular, is famous among collectors for striking coins that often become prized specimens. Now, rarity isn't the only factor at play here. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Most 1946 pennies you come across have been in circulation for decades, resulting in varying degrees of wear. However, some rare gems survive in near-perfect, uncirculated condition. These coins have sharp details, a brilliant luster, and no damage. It's these pristine examples that attract serious collectors and command impressive sums. What truly thrills numismatists are the occasional minting errors and unique variations found in some 1946 pennies. These errors occur during the production process and can include double dies, where the coin's design elements appear duplicated, off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, or die cracks, small fissures on the coin's surface caused by imperfections in the dies. Each of these errors is a rarity, making affected coins particularly valuable. Another interesting note about the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny is its metal composition. After wartime shortages, the U.S. Mint returned to using the traditional bronze alloy for pennies in 1944, continuing through 1946 and beyond. This bronze composition, consisting primarily of copper with tin and zinc, gives the coin its distinctive reddish-brown hue. Copper pennies are always popular among collectors, as the metal adds a richness and weight that silver or nickel coins lack. Imagine stumbling upon a 1946 penny in your coin collection or at a flea market that looks almost new or displays an unusual feature like doubling or an off-center strike. That one coin could potentially be a game-changer for your collection. So, what kind of value are we talking about when it comes to this coin? while the majority of 1946 Lincoln wheat pennies in average circulated condition might only be worth a few cents to a couple of dollars. Those in exceptional condition or with rare mint marks and error features can attract a much higher price from collectors and investors alike. The most remarkable specimens, those that are flawless, uncirculated, or feature notable mint errors, have fetched astonishing sums at auctions and private sales. And here's the exciting news: the highest documented value for a 1946 Lincoln wheat penny is an incredible $90,400. That's $90,400 for a single penny, a coin that once bought a fraction of a loaf of bread, now a prized collector's treasure with immense historical and monetary value. Today, we're diving into a remarkable piece of American numismatic heritage, the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny. This little copper cent carries not just monetary value, but a rich tapestry of history that reflects one of the most challenging and transformative periods in the United States. Picture this: it's 1942. The world is engulfed in the turmoil of World War II, and America has just entered the conflict after the events of Pearl Harbor the previous December. The country is mobilizing every resource for the war effort, and that includes the metals used in everyday coinage. In fact, during this time, metal shortages and rationing were a huge concern, making coins from this era incredibly special for both their historical context and their rarity. The Lincoln wheat penny, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Its design, Lincoln's noble profile on the obverse and the iconic wheat stalks on the reverse, has become an emblem of American heritage and endurance. The 1942 penny is a snapshot frozen in time, a token of resilience in a period marked by uncertainty and courage. Now, when we talk about the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny, the mint mark is a detail you absolutely cannot overlook. This tiny letter just beneath the date reveals which mint produced the coin: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. Each mint has its own production volumes and quirks, and this can influence the rarity and value of the coin significantly. Philadelphia minted the majority of pennies that year, but the Denver and San Francisco mints produced fewer coins, which often makes their pennies more desirable to collectors. The D and S mint mark pennies from 1942 are particularly interesting, as some were produced in much smaller quantities and can be harder to find in excellent condition. Speaking of condition, this is one of the most critical factors when it comes to the value of any coin. Most 1942 pennies found today have endured decades of circulation. They show wear, scratches, and faded details. But the rare specimens that remain in near mint condition with sharp, clear details and a smooth surface are the real treasures. These coins often boast a glossy sheen and an unmistakable brilliance, almost as if they were struck yesterday. Beyond condition and mint marks, the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny has a few unique quirks that collectors find fascinating. For example, some pennies from this year have been found with double die errors, where the design elements appear doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. Such errors are incredibly rare and highly sought after because they make each coin a one-of-a-kind piece of numismatic art. There are also other varieties and minting anomalies, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, and variations in the thickness of the coins, that add to the excitement and potential value of the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny. Each anomaly tells a story about the minting process and the challenges faced during an era of immense pressure and urgency. The metal composition of the 1942 penny is another interesting facet. During the early years of World War II, copper was heavily rationed because it was vital for producing ammunition and military equipment. However, in 1942, the mint continued to use the standard bronze alloy for pennies, which is approximately 95% copper. This makes the coin heavier and gives it that classic warm reddish-brown color that collectors love. It wasn't until 1943 that pennies were made from zinc-coated steel to conserve copper. Imagine the historical weight you hold when you have a 1942 Lincoln wheat penny in your hand. It's not just a coin, it's a relic of a nation persevering through war, of families sending loved ones off to battle, and of an economy powering the greatest industrial mobilization in history. Now, let's get down to the burning question on every collector's mind: what is this coin actually worth? While many 1942 pennies in circulated condition might only be worth a few cents or $1, coins that boast mint marks from Denver or San Francisco in superb condition, or those featuring rare mint errors, can command incredibly high prices. In fact, the highest known value for an exceptional 1942 Lincoln wheat penny has reached an astounding $98,900. That's right, $98,900 for a single penny from 1942. A penny that could have once bought a simple candy bar or a newspaper now holds the power to astonish with its numismatic value. Today, we're zeroing in on a piece that might look small and simple but packs a ton of historical weight, the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny. If you've ever held a Lincoln wheat penny in your hand, you know it's more than just a coin. It's a symbol of America's past, its values, and its story, and the 1958 edition has some fascinating secrets and surprises that every collector should know. So, let's set the stage. It's the late 1950s, a time of post-war optimism and change in the United States. The economy is booming, families are growing, and the country is embracing the future with new technologies, music, and culture. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint is continuing to produce coins that reflect American heritage and pride. The Lincoln wheat penny design, which had been in circulation since 1909, was nearing the end of its long run. 1958 was actually the final year the wheat penny was minted before it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. That alone makes this coin a significant marker in American numismatic history. The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny carries the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on its obverse side, showcasing the president's calm and determined gaze. Lincoln's image has been a constant on U.S. pennies for decades, symbolizing unity and freedom. Flip it over, and you see the iconic wheat ears that frame the coin's reverse, representing growth and prosperity. This classic design has become a favorite among collectors and historians alike for its simplicity and symbolism, but here's where it gets interesting: the mint mark. This tiny letter under the date reveals where the coin was produced. In 1958, pennies were minted in Philadelphia, which has no mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S. While Philadelphia produced the majority of pennies that year, coins from Denver and San Francisco were fewer in number, making them a bit more sought after, especially in high-quality condition. When it comes to coin collecting, condition is king. Most pennies you find from 1958 have seen some wear and tear from circulation, scratches, dulling, and the loss of fine details. But the true treasure lies in those pennies that have been preserved with minimal handling, boasting crisp details, vibrant color, and that almost mirror-like finish we call mint state. These coins seem almost brand new despite their age, and they can attract serious interest from collectors around the world. Another point to consider is the subtle variations and errors that sometimes appear in coins from this era. Collectors love these quirks because they make each coin unique. For example, you might encounter double die errors, where parts of the design appear double due to a misalignment during the minting process. Or maybe you'll find a coin with a slight off-center strike or a tiny die crack. These imperfections, rather than detracting from a coin's value, often make it far more valuable and fascinating. The 1958 penny was struck in the classic bronze composition, 95% copper with a blend of tin and zinc. This composition gives the coin a warm, reddish hue that ages beautifully over time. Copper pennies like this are always prized for their look and feel compared to the steel pennies or other compositions used in different years. Now, what about the coin's worth? If you have a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny lying around, its value depends largely on its condition and the mint mark. Common circulated examples might only fetch a few cents or dollars, but pennies from the Denver and San Francisco mints, especially in pristine condition, can command much higher prices. Add in a rare minting error or an unusual variety, and the value can skyrocket. Collectors and investors who have come across rare, flawless 1958 Lincoln wheat pennies have seen these coins reach astonishing figures at auctions and private sales. And here's the big reveal: the most valuable specimens of the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny have been known to fetch a jaw-dropping $84,600. That's $84,600 for a coin that was once just a humble cent. It's incredible to think about how a piece of metal so small can carry such weight in history and monetary value. Today, We're about to take a deep dive into a fascinating coin from mid-20th century America, the 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a penny. But by the end of this video, you'll see why this humble little coin could be worth far more than just 1 cent. So stay tuned, because today's story combines American history, collectible intrigue, and the possibility of serious cash. Let's rewind to the year 1956. America was in the midst of a post-war boom. Families were growing, industries were expanding, and Eisenhower was in the White House. It was a time of optimism and rapid growth. But even as technology was advancing and culture was shifting, the U.S. Mint was still producing one of its most iconic and beloved coins, the Lincoln Wheat Penny. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series had already been in production since 1909, originally introduced to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first time a real person, specifically a president, appeared on a U.S. coin. And it quickly became a staple of American coinage. By 1956, the wheat penny had been circulating for nearly 50 years, and it was nearing the end of its production run. Just 3 years later, in 1959, the design would change permanently to feature the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. That alone makes the 1956 edition significant. It's one of the last few coins to feature the iconic wheat ears on the back. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find the familiar image of President Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His profile, carved with simple dignity, remains one of the most recognized images in the world of numismatics. On the reverse, 2 stylized wheat stalks frame the words, 1 cent and United States of America. It's a design that speaks to American values, hard work, agriculture, growth, and strength. Now, let's talk about the mint marks. The 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny was minted at 2 locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, while the Denver minted pennies are marked with a small d just below the date. As always, mint marks play a crucial role in determining the rarity and value of a coin. While millions of these coins were produced at both mints, the ones that have survived in exceptional condition are far fewer than you'd think. Condition is where things get exciting. Coins are graded based on their state of preservation, everything from scratches and wear to luster and sharpness of detail. A coin in circulated condition, one that has been used in everyday transactions, may only fetch a few cents. But an uncirculated coin, a coin that looks almost exactly as it did the day it left the mint, can be incredibly valuable. The surface is clean, the details are sharp, and the eye appeal is strong. These high-grade coins are the ones collectors are willing to pay a premium for. Now, let's take this a step further. Aside from condition and mint mark, another major factor in the value of a 1956 wheat penny is whether or not it has errors or varieties. That's right, sometimes a mistake in the minting process can turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary find. These include double dies, where letters or numbers appear to be stamped twice, off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, and repunched mint marks, where the D appears to have been punched more than once. Some error coins from 1956 are so rare that only a handful have ever been found. These coins are highly sought after in the numismatic community and can be worth many times more than their face value, even more than rare silver dollars or gold coins, simply because of their unique character and rarity. Another thing to consider is toning. Yes, toning. Coins that have developed a unique patina or color over time can also fetch higher values. That reddish-brown, golden, or even bluish tint that some pennies develop naturally can make them more appealing to collectors, especially when paired with excellent condition and sharp detail. So if you happen to come across a 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny, especially one from the Denver Mint with that little d beneath the date, take a very close look. Check for doubling, inspect the condition, and see if it might have unique coloring or any other standout features. You never know, you might be holding onto something very, very special. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for, the value. How much could a 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny actually be worth? While the vast majority of these coins are worth a few cents or a couple of dollars in circulated condition, the rarest examples, those that are nearly flawless or have unique errors, can command jaw-dropping prices at auction, and yes, one of the most pristine and valuable 1956 Lincoln Wheat pennies ever sold went for an incredible $88,200. That's right, $88,200. For one single penny. A coin that might be hiding in someone's old piggy bank, passed down in a family coin jar, or even tucked away in an envelope by someone who knew it was worth saving. It just goes to show that even the smallest things can hold the greatest value. If this story has inspired you to take a second look at your coin collection, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more amazing coin discoveries. We've got so much more to share, and who knows, maybe one day you'll find a coin that changes your life. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.